Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Nexus gaming series. My name is Bahamut. On the left-hand side, we have Wholesome, Halfwits, and on the right is going to be Tiny Dancers. This is going to be an Division A matchup for the Nexus gaming series, and if you're sitting at home enjoying some wonderful Bandit Cam, but you are wondering how we got to Alterac Pass, I got you covered, my friends. The home team this evening is going to be Wholesome, Halfwits. They won the coin flip, opting for map pick priority for game number 1. Infernal Shrines and Volskaya Foundry were banned out by them. Battlefield of Eternity and Tomb of the Spider Queen were banned out by the members of Tiny Dancers. And so since they opted for map pick priority for game 1, it's going to be Wholesome Halfwits choosing to take us to Alterac Pass. Let's get back into our draft and see what we have here as I'm trying to sit up a little bit more straight as, well, I need to because posture and such. But thanks for coming by, everybody. Let me make sure that my phone is on silent.
You could give the best hugs.
Hey, oh yeah, thank you for the follow. Glad you're enjoying the content you're seeing. So, Stukov to be banned on the right-hand side. Alterac Pass, we're going to be having a lot of team fights around the encampments, so having someone who can zone people away like a Stukov is really impactful. Having things like the lurking arm, excuse me, not the lurking arm, the massive shove or the flailing swipe to disengage is a big tool, and the same can be kind of said about Mei. She's got a lot of good zoning tools with her blizzard as well as the icing. She has good sustain during the fight with the cryo freeze. Her heroics can either set up big plays or disengage, it dives from the enemy side, so I like that as well. Gazlo to be banned out, which I'm just gonna go, like, really? We don't get Gazlo? No, Gazlo had a rework as of recently, and it's shifted his power up, and then he had adjustments to that rework that buffed him even further, which made him even more viable, so a lot of teams are respecting it, especially, I think we saw it in one or two exhibition weekends. We did see some Gazlo bans. I know, there was specific to Glogan when they were playing in the exhibition weekends, but I think there was a couple other Gazlo bans here and there. For anyone wondering, just fun fact, I tweeted out earlier, I had like a whole involvement rate chart that I was actually going to use for the live draft show, but I just didn't get around or didn't have an opportunity to talk about it. But Diva had a literal 100% involvement rate for the 36 games that took place over the exhibition weekends. She literally was either banned or played in every single game. It's just wild. She is the only character to have 100%. Chromie was up there with 88.9% involvement. I think there was 4 or 5 games she wasn't in. Regardless, let's get back into this. We have a GARROSH on the right-hand side. Good setup, good control, good displacement, and maybe single target picks if they can get into that backline, toss someone like an Ana or maybe an Anduin into the enemy team. That'll help out. But looks like they're going to go for a Diablo, so this is going to be synergistic in the sense of, let's say the Anduin gets picked up and thrown around, Diablo can dive in and then help out and peel and get that Anduin out of that horrible situation. So I like that right there. And the same can be said about the Anduin, where Anduin could be utilizing the Leap of Faith and pulling Diablo or maybe a Greymane out of a hairy situation when they've maybe overextended in some of these team fights around the encampments. We are going to see a Brightwing, and that will be a Tychus as well. Now, Brightwing, if I'm not mistaken, has had 0 changes, but because not only CCL exhibition weekends, but she's just been seeing more and more play. I don't know if it is the exhibition weekends, maybe giving a little bit more of that inspiration, or just people are like, oh shit, Brightwing's strong as hell. So I don't know, there's that possibility. I feel Tychus did have not a rework, but he had some decent adjustments to his overall talent tree, and so we are going to be seeing a little bit more priority onto them. It looks like they want to utilize that to shred the Diablo, as a Li Ming will be banned out, and I don't disagree with this. It provides a lot of poke. You have displacement with the Wave of Force. You can go into the Disintegrate if you want to have that long range just beam of damage, or maybe good consistent damage. I'm excited to see what they go for. The ban on the right hand side is they could get rid of a Greymane here. Greymane pairs well with this Diablo Anduin. If they don't plan to grab one themselves, they could look to get rid of it, but it's going to be Abathur. They're going to get rid of the global pressure that they do offer with that giant slug. You talk about posture, how could I not follow you? Oh, thank you. Sorry for the complex username. No, you're okay. It's not so much complex as my brain just doesn't read the words correctly. I don't have enough points, but can you please give Bandit a treat? Maybe if you're good, Nate. Good to see you, Moose, and Chips with Salsa. Good to see you as well. Thanks for coming by, friends. We are going to see a Kael'thas coming out here, as I was a little distracted, and a Ragnaros to come out as well. I like the Ragnaros. It's not. I think it's someone that's a little undervalued especially on these maps where you have these consistent fighting points. Utilizing the Molten Core can force back the enemy team during a siege, but also you can utilize it to force them back when they're maybe stepping into your encampment. Obviously, you're going to have the Ragnaros displaced at that moment, but a Diva will be grabbed and a Lunara, excuse me, as well. Auto attack heavy composition coming out for the members of Tiny Dancers, but what do they have to realistically deal with these auto attacks? Y'all, I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for that. Bandit pets, let's get some bandit pets in right now while we're going to be loading into our map. Where is the... Okay, there it is. Oh, buddy, you want... Good boy. Yeah, I wasn't ready for a butcher. I don't know about all of you, but, not the hero I was expecting to see. But hey, at the same time, we're kicking off our first best of 3 of the day with a butcher. Ash Mantle with a small bandit treat for bandit. Before we get into game, perfect timing. There you go, Nate. Ash Mantle's gonna come in here and redeem the treat for you. There you go, bud. And if you're wondering what they are these blueberry type treats. No one is ever ready for the butcher. I agree, Zeev. I agree. Zorant, thank you for redeeming the bandit pets, and Ash Mantle, thank you for redeeming the small treat for the boy. As you can see there that he's eating that up. And perfect timing because we're just about to load into game number 1 of our first of 2 best of 3s that we have this evening. So we have this one that starts at 5 o'clock. Obviously, we're in it right now. And then the next one will be starting at 7 o'clock PDT, 10 o'clock EDT. You miss red pet for treat? Someone still got you, though. And we got free. You got free knees. You got free pets. Oh, hey, little snail. Bandit looks expectantly. He knows, like, the moment I grab that bag, he's just like, me? For me? Bandit's the hero of the stream? Oh, yeah. Bandit's the hero of just about everything. Let's get into game. Number 1 on the left-hand side, we have got the members of Wholesome Halfwits. We have got Tinksada on the Diablo. We've got Key on the Anduin. Scathar, I think, is going to be on the Ragnaros. Crooked Smile will be on the Butcher, and a Darker Black will be on that Kael'thas. On the right-hand side, we got the members of Tiny Dancers. We're going to be seeing Fishing Queen on the Lunara. Silver is going to be on that GARROSH. Materium will be on the Brightwing. Feldroth is going to be on the Tychus. And Liddell, I think it is going to be on the Diva. Let's move into mid lane, check out our level 1s, and see what our first engagement will be looking like as Diablo moves in. Some fire stomps coming out. I'm actually going to do one quick thing. So the camera will stop moving. I'm just going to swap some audio. So that way, I'm just going to pull it in through my headphones just so that way. I feel like I was getting a little bit of kickback into the microphone, so I have to fiddle with that off stream. But regardless, all of our audio should be A-OK, and this will just make sure that we have a little bit more opportunities to be also able to hear people that we interview, because that's always the issue that I have, is I have them lower my monitor speakers so we can't hear them properly on stream, so now I can actually crank up their volume and everyone will hear the interview. Regardless, let's get into our game as this is rotations begun between the bottom to mid. We have Crooked Smile trying to do said rotations with the Diablo as they want to stack up, well, at least for the Butcher, 150 stacks, if I'm not mistaken. Excuse me, 200 stacks, I forgot completely, as the Diablo will need 100 stacks to finish out their Black Soulstone for the insta-revive. I thought Materium was going down there, but they're going to be able to just get out of there. They're going to Hearth back, and if I'm not mistaken, Brightwing should have their phase shift up and available. They don't. It's actually on a 40-some second cooldown. Oh, no, they just used it. That's why. Okay, I was about to be like, wait, what the heck? How did they get down there? Liddell might lose their mech form, but I don't think they care because they've just whittling down this Ragnaros, and you still have the pilot form, which can provide quite a bit of damage right there. Looking through the level 1s that we really haven't noticed, we are going to be seeing Chop Meat for the Butcher, so it's going to give them increased wave clear, as well as mercenary camp clear. Diva is going to lose their mech in the top lane. I'm just curious. No, they're not going to go down. They get a big shot off, and looks like Ragnaros is doing fine on their own up there, as they are going to be in that blast wave build. But it is, as I said, it's going to be that body check for the GARROSH, going to be reducing the movement speed of the target by 35% and the healing that they can receive by 30%. Lunara is going to be going into Hippity Hop, which is not something we see too often at level 1, but it seems like they want to be able to have more movement speed around the map. Tychus going into Press the Advantage at level 1, which is fairly standard at this time with the changes that came through in our most recent talent adjustment. I wouldn't so much call it a rework. Maybe it is a rework. I don't think it was like, it wasn't a rework to the point where I think leagues banned him out. Because I think it was just Gazlo and D.Va that were banned out for their reworks. I think his was more or less just like a lot like Chromie, where everything was moved around quite a bit. We are going to be having our first objective phase announced right now. It's going to be up and available at 3 minutes into the game for actual contest. As Key gets picked off right there, I thought Key was going to make it out just fine. I was holding my breath for a second. I took a sip of water at the most inopportune moment. I was like, they won't fight. This is objective. They're just, okay, they're going to fight. Cool. Wonderful. But that is going to be first blood over to the side of our red team. Tiny Dancers will be able to utilize this moment and put they're going to be able to grab channel onto this objective phase and hold basically, what's the word I'm looking for on this? Positional advantage over the objective phase. There we go. Ragnaros will push up a wave up here, trying to force them to make the rotation. Skalthar and Silver are going to find this. Tychus is going to dash forward. There's the Blash Wave. Body check was used, and you saw that negative 30 healing next to them. This does mean that the D.Va is all by themselves. Liddell's going to drop the Mecha Explosion. Crooked Smile wants to find the kill, but they don't in that D.Va, as they're going to get chased by Feldroth. Liddell coming back over here, able to force them off this, as GARROSH gets a toss onto Tanksada, and they are not full souls yet, so if they go down, that's going to be full death timer for this Diablo. And if there's a polymorph, it's not even necessary. They find the kill in that Diablo, staggering out of death just as the objective phase comes into lane for the side of Tiny Dancers. Can Wholesome Halfwits stave off the siege from this enemy team? Diablo back in 5 seconds. Objective phase moving into lanes. Liddell should be able to get fine siege up to here. They're going to have Butcher come and counter that, but I think it's mostly because of the wave that's up here as well. They really want to build out those stacks, as they are sitting at 55 out of the 200 necessary for them to be able to have the increased damage. Now, this is technically an uncapped quest. The only way to continue to increase those blood stacks or the meat stacks is by getting hero kills post the 200. I believe hero kills pre-200 are 15. No, it's 20 flesh, and then post the 200, you get 10 flesh per. Which in ARAMs is always is fun to attempt to farm up, and then you end up just being a vegan butcher 9 times out of 10. Seems like, though, they're going to be able to play it very aggressive with Silver in this top lane. Butcher, do you have a charge? Tanksada's going to be coming in here. Fire Stomp. There's a charge in from Butcher, but they decide not to go in, as the polymorph will connect their turn as they're turning around. Liddell's going to be trying not to lose their mech, but they don't have the mech explosion. That's so much damage on a Silver. There's going to be a chat size that connects, but the into the fray does not throw the D.Va, throws a minion by accident. Tanksada's going to get pulled out with the Leap of Faith from Anduin as they throw that Divine Star out, getting some healing out as well. Meanwhile, this is still Lunara pushing out that bottom lane. Ragnaros trying to do their best to just clear things out, but this Lunara sustained damage is going to be a bit of a nuisance. Doesn't seem like they're going to press the advantage at the time. They're going to back off, and seems like they're going to maybe go for the siege camp as they are approaching their 10 talent here. I want to go ahead and cycle through some of the other numbers, get an idea of what those look like, because we haven't had a chance to look at the damage experience and healing in our first game of... I was gonna say up 3. I gotta move off of like the CCL 3-game series like mental spot. I have to say it's best of 3s. We're finally back to best of 3s. And this weekend for CCL will be best ofs as well. It's not gonna be a 3-game series or 5-game series, which would be great, but 5-game series would be a very, 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 very long weekend. Libidum, I think. Sorry for murdering your name. Thank you for using your Twitch Prime here. Goon, thank you for the resubscription for Tier 1 for 3 months. Shadonis, thank you for the little host and bring your friends over here. And Chosus also, thank you for the follow, as we have our 10 talent tiers on the right-hand side. Next objective phase will be bottom lane. They're coming in here looking to dive onto Scathar, and they realize what's happening, and they say, this is me going down. They attempted to use the Molten Core form there for a second, and if they would have been able to get that off, I think Key would have been able to rotate up in time. Unfortunately, that's not the case, and this is going to be another pick for the side of Tiny Dancers. I also want to note here, this is going to be a Decimate Garrosh. I was looking around a little too much, and I missed the fact that we do have that Decimate Garrosh, but they're pairing that in with the Bunny Hop from D.Va, so you have slows, plus a stun, plus the Thornwood Vine, and these people grouped up. So I like the synergistic heroics that they've put together here. We have to see if they're going to be able to make anything happen with that. And right now, that's not an issue, but that was a single target pick that they managed to take advantage of. And literally, they were diving under the tower, which Ragnaros probably was like, I'm fine. And then, yeah, not so much. But that's Diablo with the Shadow Charge in, looking to engage. They're going to get Polymorph. Thornwood Vines are going to be utilized from Fishing Queen. And the other good note, too, is that if they're a little afraid of maybe being bopped around and CC'd by Anduin, Diablo, and Kael'thas, then this Thornwood Vines allows a lot of good poke potential as well, since there's a lot of members just kind of stacked up in these corridors. Silver not gonna go for the mecha throw. I was waiting to see if they use the Into the Fray to toss the mecha explosions. That's gonna be a Diablo Apocalypse. There's a Butcher Charge. They're gonna find the kill into Brightwing. Commandeer Odin comes down, but during that time, they found that kill. Crooked Smile gets bopped by the Diva, goes down, dropping some blood, but they're at 156 currently. Ragnaros is raining fire down in the Molten Core form just below us. That's a Pyroblast from Kael'thas onto Silver. They're just trying to apply enough damage, but Silver walks away with 25 health, and they managed to stop the channel at 14 seconds. Brightwing's back now. They can actually just phase shift on top of Silver, and that might be the call, and that's why Silver's playing this so aggressive, is they're gonna throw Darker Blue. They decimate, and they find that kill, but can decimate be enough for the Garrosh? It looks like it is. They're gonna chase this back, and they're gonna turn things on their head, finding a double kill in this initiation, but I believe a triple kill overall, with the Brightwing now phase shifting back in. They're gonna look for the channel onto this objective phase in favor for the side of Tiny Dancers. What's up, Vita? How you doing, bud? Thanks for the daily, yeah. Once you complete the quest, you're scary. That is true. That's true. So that's going to be second objective phase in favor for the side of Tiny Dancer's second objective of the game entirely. As we are going to be seeing, I'm just up here so I can grab some water while we have this mid lane camp being pushed out by our Wholesome Halfwits, and I'm looking to see, are they just going to try and... I was going to say, are they going to look to try and just hard defend one lane, but then they're going to give... Oh, yeah, like, okay. So Key's going to rotate to mid. Ragnar's coming down over here. They used the Molten Core form during the last objective phase, so that's not going to be up for another 30-some seconds, as I was just looking right there. So Lava Wave through top lane to try and force them back. It buys a little bit of time, does clear out the minion wave. I think they're going to say, you know what, we're losing the top lane, and that's just going to happen. Let's rotate into bottom lane and maybe look for Fishing Queen. Unfortunately, they're going to have that Wisp right there, so they'll see this rotation happening, and that'll just be top lane fort going down. Bottom lane fort should be saved. Not a bad defense overall coming out from Wholesome Halfwits. They were able to just... They defended two lanes really, really well, only giving over a fort to a second objective of the game. I think that's a win for them, but with Ragnar showing in top lane, they might be looking to engage onto this enemy team. Silver thinking about it, Fire Stomp for the dismount. Yo, Crushinator, thank you so much for the raid. Thanks for bringing all your friends over here. I hope you had fun in your Heroes of the Storm games, and thank you, Ash Mantle, for the shout out on that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Diablos, and I was gonna say a little bit of trouble. They're gonna get hit with the Decimate and the body check. That's going to be, oh my god, everything being thrown out. There's Apocalypse, there's Pyroblast, blood will be finished out, excuse me, meat finished out by the Butcher, and they're gonna find one kill into just the Garrosh. And I think they make the boss call, but this is pretty telegraphed to the enemy side. I wonder if they make some sort of invade onto this, because this is what they're seeing. And you saw that posturing. They know. They're going to throw the Wisp. There's going to be the Fire Stomp from Diablo. Diva has no Mecha Explosion, but they could look to just kind of play it aggressive. There's going to be the Bunny Hop as the Butcher dives in. They don't care as they get the Leap of Faith to pull them out. Bunny Hop is stuck onto this Diablo who's getting low. There's a lot of damage onto them. Emerald Wind to try and force them off the point, but it doesn't seem to work out as that's Diablo going down. Commandeer Odin's dumping the damage. They dash forward as that's going to be a bloodbath over this. Butcher goes to charge, but they die immediately. That's going to be Feldroth so very low. Fishing Queen trying to step onto the point. Kael'thas dumping out the damage with their own flames. Everyone stacking up. This is the dream for Kael'thas, but they go down, and all five will be killed on the side of Wholesome Halfwits, only gaining a Diva and a Garrosh kill, losing the boss, and potentially losing Keep Front Gate and bottom lane. But with that, I think they're going to go for the double boss, looking to push. I like this, actually. This is a nice call for them. It is going to give them an opportunity to respawn and potentially come up here, but I think realistically, the members of Wholesome Halfwits, they look to just clear boss, clear waves, get their 16, and then fight over the objective phase. It's going to be a fight during contested timing, though. I don't think they can clear all these waves and then get to the objective before the enemy team gets a little bit of timing. But the benefit for Wholesome Halfwits is this is now our longest timer on the objective phase, which is going to be 60 seconds. The Alterac pass map starts at 40, goes to 50, and then it stops and maxes out at 60 seconds total channel time. So right now we are going to be having that. Excuse me, 50 seconds. My apologies. 30, 40, 50. Sorry, I added the 10 seconds to the wrong spot. Either way, top lane boss coming through. 16 was grabbed by the side of Wholesome Halfwits, and this is what I'm talking about, where actually they're going to use the Divine Star from Key, and that will delay things out for a second. Firestomp from Diablo won't get another stall, and I think they need to make the decision right here, right now. Do we defend boss or do we go for the fight? Seems like they want to go for the fight. Butcher, to note, does have their meat finished out. Souls and Diablo sitting at 76. Kael'thas did finish their Arcane Barrier from level 1 at 23 stacks, 3 extra on that one. They do have that activatable. We do have that in the rhythm for the Tychus at level 4, and that's at 59 stacks. We'll check back in with Feldroth when they get 10 more stacks, as this is another invade onto this camp. Excuse me, onto this objective phase. Silver anchoring for the friendly team and just stepping forward, looking to throw someone. That's Anduin, who face checked very early. Apocalypse comes out from the Diablo. Key is going to go down. They drop the light bomb as Materium is going to be split from the team, but that's going to be a wonderful Emerald win, splitting the Butcher into the backline DPS, and they find the kill into them. Silver getting low, manages to pop some healing. Tanksada just trying to find some sort of setup, but the bunny hop is so harassment forward that they end up stalling things out. Brightwing gets the phase shift in, and with 3 dead, it seems like the members of Wholesome Halfwits back off for now, go to clear waves, and they expect to defend against another objective phase wave. I will say this, though, with the timer on the objective and the timer on their death timers, they're looking to be fairly close to having everyone up and available and in position for this defense. The question that I was gonna say, is there any way that they're gonna maybe rotate to this and try and find some sort of counter channel? But I don't think it's in their cards. I think with the waves pushed up the way they are, they just have to defend and get ready for a massive objective phase. I do want to point out, though, Ragnar's doing a smart thing, utilizing the vision that they can get from this mid lane as they're pushing up, and knowing that Diva's around over here and Lunar was clearing top, they know they're safe to push up a wave once more, push them maybe a little bit closer between that experience gap that is formed between the two teams. And this will I like this kind of baits them down over here, but they might have actually just come down here for the wave clear to force the wave up a little bit faster. Who knows? What we do know is going to be 20 talent tier, fairly close in favor for the members of Tiny Dancers. Will Wholesome Halfwits be able to take the fight before that 20 hits? And if it does, what do they do at that point? That's there's a lot of outliers right now, and we're gonna have to see what happens. I'm actually gonna pull away the stats because I want to be able to see the screen a little more clear, and I know the 20s are just about to come through, and we'll pull those back up in a second, but I just want to be able to see the entire engagement. That's Butcher going in with the light bomb into the backline. It's the Apocalypse from the Diablo to consistently lock them down into place. Pyroblast from Kael'thas is going to be onto the Brightwing, which that is going to be Brightwing going down. Diablo's souls are finished out due to that. Crooked Smile trying to walk out with so much damage onto them. GARROSH finds the Groundbreaker, and the Leap of Faith will not be able to connect in time, so it's a 1-for-1 trade. Tanksada so low, manages to get away from the damage from the Commandeer Odin, as the objective phase is going to be dealing some significant structure damage, but I was waiting to see one of those blue members go down there, as that was a burst forward from the Diva. They will find the mid lane keep. Top lane is gonna be, actually, this is looking like it's gonna go down as well. I think we're gonna end up seeing a double keep in favor for the, oh wow, they're gonna, okay. They burn the Molten Core form just to be able to stave off the damage and the end of their keep, so that means that there also will be more healing and shielding for the actual core. For every keep that you have up and available, you get 20 physical and spell armor. So at least we'll have that there, but this keep right here is 1,211 HP. So we are, it's looking a little, I wouldn't say dire, but it's looking like they need to make some critical decisions on the side of Wholesome Halfwits. Do they play aggressive into these fights? Do they let the enemy team overextend into their territory? How are they going to play this? And, well, are they going to be able to hit 20? Oh, they should be able to hit 20 before, but this is a nice call coming out from Tiny Dancers. I don't think they've shown a map. Are they faking, boss? Maybe. Maybe. What's up, Trainwreck? Brightwing certainly kept him alive, yeah. Even Hearth and phase back in. Well timed, yeah. Sorry, I'm just jumping between the visions because I actually didn't know where they were that entire time. But they're gonna play it safe. They don't see them on the boss, and D.Va showed in lane. But during all of that, that means that they were able to find their 20 talent tier. If they want to fight over this boss, now they can. Crooked Smile, though, you might be stepping too far forward too quickly. And now Diablo, okay. Fire Stomp's there. Did they go second Lava Wave? Yeah, they did. Lava Surge, excuse me. So, I mean, realistically, this is actually a win overall for Wholesome Halfwits. Because they're still getting experience and pushing out the waves in their favor, albeit they do have the Reaver minions coming through mid and top and bottom, more consistently through mid since there's no keep, but, like, I think this is that whole play right there. I think that's still a win for Wholesome Halfwits. I think Tiny Dancers, they need to play that aggressive. I think they wanted the enemy team to try and take the boss. I don't know. I'm unsure of like what the play was from Tiny Dancers, but right now, Tank Sada and friends are looking to step into this. There's another lava wave from the Ragnaros into top lane. For anyone wondering, the Lava Surge is going to give you an additional lava wave, but it also reduces your cooldown by 30 seconds. I thought I read 2 and I was like, wait a minute, what? No, it's basically a 90-second cooldown for every lava wave right there. As Fishing Queen and friends know this boss is being pulled, are they going to be able to make the invade? Phase shift from the right one will be coming in. That's going to be with the oh my god, with the peekaboo as well. There's going to be the Leap of Fate to save the Diablo. D.Va's going to jump in here. No mech explosion. There's an Apocalypse ripped by the Diablos. They're going to actually Hellgate in. They're going to be over this boss. They're going to try and Shadow Charge the D.Va off, and they get the boss in favor, but they lose their Anduin. They're going to lose their Butcher, and was it worth it just for the boss? The objective phase is up. Death timers are at 60 seconds, and you've got a death wave coming through mid that could potentially end game. Between these Reaver minions and the Knolls, these things could really destroy the core, and they're going to need to deal with that, as I think they're maybe looking to pressure them into this lane. Diablo gets caught by the Groundbreaker, but they're going to be able to continually walk away, and looks like Ragnaros will be able to just clear things out in this mid lane before anything bad happens. Looking up in the top lane, nothing major up there, as the boss in bottom lane will be dealt with by the Tychus, who's just absolutely shredding through this, as well as the Fort doing quite a bit of work as Ragnaros clears out the mid lane. But as I noted, 20-some seconds on this Butcher and this Anduin, and it's going to be tight here. Like, they either need to like respawn and get in position. Oh wow, I thought this fort would actually, oh, they swapped the Tychus out. That's why I was like, why is this boss still up? They're on this camp. I don't think they have anyone to check it, so they're gonna be able to rip this really quickly. This is gonna be really tight. I don't know if they want to make this invade. Because like Anduin and Butcher still have to come from the core. Phase shift in from the Brightwing. They have that peekaboo value. They have that vision you can see just kind of circling around them from that pulsating. So they're gonna give this, okay. That's what I was wondering. I was like, do they give this, or are they gonna try and invade and make a big play happen? They're gonna try and defend against this wave that's gonna be coming in. I believe this is the 4th objective phase of the game. 4th one as well for the members of Tiny Dancers, as the bottom lane's pushed back a little bit. Top lane, they're gonna have a lava wave coming through there. I think the timing on this actually should be fairly good, because it's gonna catch this wave pretty good right there coming out from our Ragnaros player on the timing for this lava wave into top lane, so they'll nullify a lot of that pressure. Bottom lane push back quite far as well, and since they're seeing the enemy team on this objective, or at least they saw it down there for a second clearing out the wave, they're going to make quick work of this mid lane because there's no keep there already, and Ragnaros looks like they're going to go clear out the top lane. Meanwhile, quite a few are showing in bottom. And so here's the thing, do we give the top lane keep? They're going to give top lane keep, and they're going to defend full force against the bottom lane. I agree with this 100%. Looney Tune, thank you for the tier 1 for 13 months. I will resend your alert when we get out of game. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ragnaros actually doing their best to defend against this. Are they just trying to boss off? I think they're just going to try and boss after this phase. After this objective phase, I don't think. Yeah. They're going to burn Molten Core Form. That's a 2-minute cooldown right there, so they'll have that back at roughly, what, 23 minutes into the game? So boss is going to be... Oh my god. Somehow I managed to spill water everywhere. Whoops. Okay. We'll clean that up later. So they're faking boss once again. But they're not in the aggressive bush. And by aggressive bush, I mean the one that Diablo just went through. Seems like they're going to ping their own camp. Butchers hovering around here. They just saw the Wisp. So they know that they're around, or at least they have vision. That's going to be the toss onto Diablo. I think they use the Gladiator's Medallion. There's going to be a Hellgate forward. Butcher charges in the backline with the explosion, but that is going to be the Commandeer Odin mitigated any sort of CC from that Leap of Faith, but they're going to be leaping right into the Diva Bunny Hop. The healing is going to be a lot from Anduin, but will it be enough as the Lava Wave comes through, shredding through so many members? Scoutthar is going to be going down as they throw some Flame Strikes back. That's Diablo trying to find their way out, but another Leap of Faith with a Glyph of Faith will save them. Unfortunately, Key will not go down. Oh wait, nope, that's going to be Key going down. Diablo Souls will be reset, and now Core being sieged by the Reaver minions. Butcher going to be clearing that out, but they actually run up through this top lane keep. They're going to toss back Darker Black, and they're going to look for a kill in them. They find it right there. It's a lot of damage onto Silver, but they seem to be fine right now, living in the moment with this Butcher who's just going to go down in the backline. Tanksada, the only one left to defend against this enemy team, and they're going to get shredded, CC'd, flipped around, flipped on top of it, looks like as well, and that seems like the members of Tiny Dancers will be taking game number 1 in our first 3-game series of the evening. Very well played. Good patience, good back and forth. Good aggression coming out from Silver in that last engagement to force the Diablo. But that is going to be game number 1. A fun game 1. A good amount of back and forth right there. I really like that. All right, we got some alerts to resend.
You up for some cake and pie later, buddy?
I will follow you to the end of the world. Subscribe.
Oh, why is that audio so delayed? And this one, all right, that was weird. The first one was like super delayed, but this one wasn't.
Subscribe.
Is Div A like top players or not, or the not so great? I mean, let's see. NGS MMR. The average Division A player is Diamond 2. Or the average MMR of the team is Diamond 2.
I will follow you to the end of the world.
Heroic is their highest division. Well, I guess Storm Division is their highest division.
Sharing for emotes.
Well, thank you, Looney Tune, for sharing for emotes. That was fun, I agree. That was a good game 1. And we got, hopefully a lot more games. I honestly hope hopefully we get 5 more maps tonight. I'm sure the players are like, no, Bahamut, no, please, I just wanna easy GG and win, but no. We have all the fun this evening. Alright, so I can update team scores, and then we can get into our next game. Well, whenever they have... Oopsie. Wrong one. Whenever they have the next map ready to go. Oh, they do.
You could give the best hugs.
I'm just gonna go with Har. Thanks for the follow. My brain, like, I'm looking at it and just like I see the 2 eyes and I'm like, how do you make those letters? Why can't you make those letters? I dig Div A. Div A is pretty good. Higher than my unranked, I'm casual. Yeah. You would butt spot, of course. I butt Div A. Yes, it does. Butt spot, please. Yes. All right, so looks like this will be the map choice of that. Okay, so that's, sorry, I was just trying to figure out who did what. So this will be that. And I have to update our map editor, and then I'm good to go on my end. I'll let them know that I'm ready in a second. Where's Cursed Hollow? Map 2. Cool. All right. but thanks for hanging out, everybody. Stream schedule wise, tonight obviously we're doing Heroes of the Storm, so it's going to be, we have 2 best of 3s to cast for you all tonight. Tomorrow night is the Phantophobia Physicism with Day Totski and Alex Dads. Thursday is going to be more NGS casting. Friday no streams. Saturday and Sunday are the Icebreaker tournament for Hero CCL. Monday next week no stream. Tuesday or Thursday, I have something special planned. Wednesday of next week, we're going to try and finish Resident Evil. And then Friday of next week, Day and I are going to co-stream the new Supermassive Studio games, the Dark Anthology Pictures Little Hope, the one that takes place in Salem. And it literally comes out, I think, on Friday. So her and I will start that at like 6 o'clock PDT, and then we're going to play that for a bit. We might try and one-shot it. We just don't know. Like, Man of Medan's like a 3-4 hour game co-op. So this might be 3-4 hours co-op. I've actually been doing a solo, like off stream, I've been doing a solo play of Man of Medan just to like try and do stuff that like I haven't done. And there's so much that like, I was telling this to one of my friends, like there's so many more different arcs when you do absolutely nothing in that game. Like, cause there's 3 options in Man of Medan. Like there's the option to do like 2 different things that are your personality or do nothing. And then sometimes if you do nothing, you actually get completely different and new options. It's really cool. Anyways, let's get into our game number 2, our map number 2, as we are here. Welcome back into the Nexus Gaming Series. My name is Bahamut. On our left-hand side, we have the members of Wholesome, Halfwits, and on the right is going to be Tiny Dancers. This is a Division A East matchup, and thank you all so much for joining me for it, as we are going to be seeing our maps that have been played and picked and banned so far. Wholesome Halfwits are going to be winning the coin flip initially, and they're going to opt for map pick priority for game number 1. Infernal Shrines and Volskaya Foundry were banned out by them. Battlefield of Eternity and Tomb of the Spider Queen were banned out by the members of Tiny Dancers. Alterac Pass was the first map chosen by Wholesome Halfwits and lost by them. The losing team can either choose first pick or map pick. They opted for first pick priority on the side of Wholesome Halfwits, meaning that map pick goes over to Tiny Dancers, choosing to take us to Cursed Hollow. Let's get back into our draft and find out what we have so far for bans, as it's going to be another Stukov. And if I'm not mistaken, this is actually a target ban onto Keys Stukov. If I remember from previous NGS seasons and all of that jazz and people and just all the casting, I do believe that Key has an outstanding Stukov. But we are going to be seeing a Diva ban, which I don't disagree with whatsoever. Seems to be a little strong, and this is going to be another map that operates similar to how Alterac Pass does, in the fact that you are going to be having these objective phases that spawn across the map, and you're going to need to brawl out over them. The members of Tiny Dancers give the people what they want, okay? Sorry, I was looking at my notes for one quick second because I realized, oh right, I have a second best of 3 with the most impossible team names to say, so I'm very excited for our second series of the day. Buttspot crushing Crushinator. I feel like Buttspot might have a crush on Crushinator, but who doesn't really? That's going to be a Sylvanas being banned on the left-hand side for the push potential, the mobility of them as well. First pick on our right-hand side, what are they going for? Is it a GARROSH again? Do they want that? Yeah. Silver seemed really comfortable on this. They had a lot of good just anchoring. This seemed like a comfort, easy norm for the side of Tiny Dancers. So that is going to be a nice grab for them. As I said, they just looked really comfortable on it. So why not grab something that's comfortable and something that works well on every single map and almost any single composition. For the left-hand side for Wholesome Halfwits, I wonder, do they play into the global factor here for Cursed Hollow? Do they play? What's the game plan for them? It's going to be a Tyrande up front. Stitches? Diablo? Joanna. Okay. The Tyrande will allow you to have some poke. You can get some decent vision with that Sentinel. Tyrande's not the most meta healer per se, but she does have her own utility. She does have her own uniqueness, and she has a lot of benefits if played correctly. And I think that's kind of the outliers. It's the player that's behind the hero, and that can be said about anything. I mean, you put a Mene on Kel'Thuzad and you put me on Kel'Thuzad, there's going to be a vast difference in mechanical skill. Falstad to be picked up here, and an Uther with them as well, so I'm going to assume this is going to be a Gust, but I'm thinking it's Divine Storm. We could see Divine Shield, but I'm feeling like they're going to try and play this Uther mega aggressive into the enemy team and just drop a Divine Storm on top of their heads. I doubt we see any sort of Hinterland's Blast, but you honestly, you never know sometimes. You really never know. Please, Lord, let there be a Cho today. Meebus, I wake up and I say that to myself every single day. Even the days I don't play or even cast Heroes of the Storm, I still just hope for it. I still just hope for it. Deathwing to be banned out, Chromie to be banned out as well as we get into our second phase of the draft, and Thrall to be grabbed. More poke potential coming out from the side of our Wholesome Halfwits, but we're gonna see a Zagara grab, which is a non-standard, but it seems like they might have a non-standard player. By non-standard, I just mean something that's just outside of our standard meta. Zagara is nowhere in our realm of standards per se, or the high tier meta, so I'm excited to see this. We did have Zagara play in CCL. It was actually the first 3-game series of the entire exhibition weekends. It was Mene playing on Garden of Terror. They played a Zagara, and it was really fun to watch. As a Samura will be grabbed, and a Cassie on the opposing side, they're lacking, I was gonna say they're lacking frontline, but they got Uther, and they've got Cassia too, which has got shielding, and they got shielding from Uther, and you know, this is actually looking really good for the side of Tiny Dancers. I actually really like their draft. I think it's a very strong draft. What are they going to round this out with on the left-hand side? They need more damage, in my opinion. They need way more damage. Some sort of mage would be great here, actually. Jaina actually would provide some good poke and burst, as that's... Oh! Okay! The boy! What do you think about my son being in the game? You should cast as Baja Ross one of these days. That's not a bad idea. But I'd have to be super calm the entire time. Hello? Welcome to Heroes of the Storm. We're, and get on into our first best of 3 series of the day. Thanks for joining me. I hope you're having a day out. Nexus? Just remember, there's no bad rotations, just happy mistakes. Try and say that in Storm League. I didn't make a bad rotation, I just made a happy mistake. Iron Flare, thank you for gifting. Thank you for resubscribing with your Twitch Prime for 4 months. Thank you for the 4 months of support, my friend. Thank you.
To the end of the world. Subscribe.
I guess Tiny Dancers take a 2L unless they make a major misplay. Oh, you're calling it already? How dare! How dare! The game's not over. So the game's over. Let's get into it. On the left-hand side, we got Wholesome Halfwits with Tanksada on that. What? On the Joanna. We've got Scathar on the Thrall. Key is going to be on the Tyrande. We've got Crooked Smile on that Zagara. And we will be seeing the big, thick boy, AZMODAN. Where are you, bud? I thought I was... Okay, there you go. Darker Black will be on that AZMODAN. On the right-hand side, we get the members of Tiny Dancers up 1 in our best of 3 series. Liddell is going to be on the Samuro. Over in mid lane, we've got Feldroth on the Falstead. Materium will be on the Uther. Fishing Queen on the Cassia. And Silver on the Garrosh. Let's get into mid lane. Check out our level 1s. So this is a Cursed Hollow map. And I mean, I'm just saying, I rarely see Crash Lightning, I rarely see Greed. Just a little uncommon for me, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. Little uncommon, but I actually do see the benefit of both of those if they are gonna literally just like split pressure into this enemy team and just try and win through literally just pressuring out the map constantly with AZMODAN and the Zagara. I see the direction for that. The only thing is they do have this Samuro on the opposing side who can be quite the harassing hero, and we'll have to see how that works out for them. But honest to God, and this is also me who's just, it goes into every single match, like regardless of this is GMs versus bronze, like I'm like, there's a chance. Regardless, I think there actually still is a chance legitimately for Wholesome Halfwits. I'm not just saying it because caster bias. Like there's something that can actually happen here, and I don't think it has to be a major misplay. I think it's just if they get out pushed constantly, this will be a hard map for them. And their wave clear, it's not awful by any means, but it's not the best in the world. Like Samuro, a big thing with Samuro is if you beat them in the lane and force them into Blade Storm, then you get rid of the ability for them to be able to use that instant transmission or the swap. And if they're forced to use Blade Storm on the wave constantly, that means they won't have her for the fight. And they also won't be able to swap around the map. So like that right there is a bit of a win if you're able to force that and beat the lane. And right now, Zagara is doing a great job of forcing the Samura into the into the front gate of this top lane. Meanwhile, mid lane, AZMODAN doing their best to just continue to soak up, and we have Falstad pushing out the bottom lane as Thrall is working on this camp with the help of Key as well. So this is like what I'm saying overall is like I don't think this game is over by draft by any means. I think you can absolutely win with this draft, but they need to play these team fights and these tactical siege moments, well, very tactically. That's a big thing. Zagara is going to be going into, not Medusa Blades, Serrated Spines at level 1, and with these clones, it's going to be easy for them to stack off of, because it doesn't matter if you hit the wrong clone, you're still going to build that auto attack damage into something that's maybe not going to be microed too well. In Division A, I expect them to be microed fairly well, but I'm not a Samuro player, so I can't talk extensively to them. I do play a lot of AZMODAN, so I can be judgy as hell about that. No, I'm not going to be judgy about it at all. Like, I was gonna meme about the fact that they took greed and all this, but like I see the direction they're going in, and I want it, like I kinda want it to work. Also because I like game number 3s, but I think it legit has viability. So I'm gonna stop talking about that. Let's talk about our first objective phase that is gonna be coming out. Falstad, I believe, did bribe a camp over in the bottom lane. Yes, they got that 10% on their lightning rod bonus damage right now. Toss onto Tanksada, and I think it's more or less just to disengage or force them away so they can get the potential channel. But right now, this is kind of the best spot for Zagara right now, where they can just sit here and poke and just constantly build up those level 4 stacks. 31 already. Dear Lord, sorry everybody. The only issue right now that I want to note for you as well is that Zagara has no mana. So, while yes, they do have this auto attack, that's really all they have, but, and they also, don't forget that they do have this Infest at level 1, so you see that kind of red glow around some of those minions, and they increase in size for a second. Samuro trying to hassle Scathar here, and they might be able to do so, but not going to be the case. They actually do also have 7 stacks on that Crash Lightning from level 1, as they do throw the Zagara, the Gladiator's Medallion to use, and that's going to be first blood over to the side of our red team as they continue to fight this out, but they need to be careful. That's gonna be the Chain Lightning bouncing from player to player, and I see the reasoning for them picking that up. Obviously, is, you know, the prioritization is good and all of that. Yes, it's so great, but your main sources of being able to build out the stacking is during these objective phases, and you're only getting 3-ish per, it seems, as that is going to be overall a triple kill for the side of Tiny Dancers during this first objective phase, and they will get it. I think they were just trying to buy time for AZMODAN to do AZMODAN things in bottom lane, and this is what I was talking about. They want to do that, but Feldroth kind of has their number, and with this Lightning Rod build, you can definitely make a lot of counter siege happen, in the sense where you literally just slap W on this hero and just kind of fly near them. Me personally, I would lean actually into the full W build, like doing the building. I think you get increased. You get 2 extra charges, so it ticks 2 more times, and you also get an increased range, and then because there's a talent at level 7 which I believe gives you subsequent strikes will deal additional damage. So if you're increasing your damage and you're increasing the amount of strikes that happen, you see where I'm coming from on this. So that's at least the direction I'm going, but I see why they're going this, why they're picking up these talents as well, because they do have the wave clear from the Boomerang to just counteract the Zagara and this AZMODAN, and it also builds out your stacks a lot quicker for your level 1. So, but that's just me. Like if you're not hindered on your wave clear, I would highly recommend trying out just the full W build, because it is a hoot and a holler. But right now, we are going to be 8 to 9 in levels. They did pick off the AZMODAN bottom lane. Looks like Thrall's going to be up in the top. Second objective phase will be up and available in this lower right portion of the map. Zagara down over here needs to be careful, as we are going to cycle through other damage healing experience for our game number 2 and our first best of 3 of the evening, as they're just trying to do their best to harass, but I don't think people will come down in time. Sentinel gets hit by the Samuro, and they don't get it. That'll be 2 channels in favor for the side of Tiny Dancers, as AZMODAN and Thrall are pushing up this top lane, but the enemy team is going to come up here, or at least Samuro is, and just try and slow things down. Really good snipes with these Sentinels. Or, I guess, really good job of Tiny Dancers stepping into the Sentinels. Blade Storm was grabbed by the Samuro, so there's going to be a little bit more of a wave clear tool for them, I do believe. I doubt we're going to be seeing it for consistent utilization during the team fights, but hey, we never know. I feel like I rarely see Blade Storm utilized in the team fights. I feel like it's more of a, at this point, utilized to wave clear, and that's what we're seeing right now. It is poking at AZMODAN a bit, but they're also trying to avoid that circle on the ground that they were creating from their All Shall Burn. It's 10s up on both sides. Oh boy, okay. So they need to defend against this. Falstad's going to be flying in right now. They barrel roll forward just to close that distance as well. Clones from Samura are going to be coming out, and they are going to be having that level 1, the Way of the Blades. So they're going to be reducing armor from those clones, which into a tank is quite a nuisance. The stun from Uther comes out. AZMODAN will go down to the Falstad and the Cassia in the top lane. They might have just been honestly AFK sieging as the ball lightning comes out, bouncing from player to player. There's going to be a Divine Shield onto the GARROSH, who's just going to try and continue to step into this. There is a cleanse onto Fishing Queen. Falstad's going to barrel roll forward. Gust is available. They're going to gust them away. Liddell's going to actually chase into this, looking for those last couple autos. Keys gets a few healing bits out. Cassia goes for the fend. They get the channel onto this objective, and that will be Thrall going down as they found it. Oh no, they don't get the channel right away, but that should be the channel right there, finished out by the Falstad, and they will have this objective to the side of Tiny Dancers, cursing the enemy team, meaning they can siege without any sort of real punishment from the structures or the minion waves. Alrighty, top lane fort will be going down, mid lane fort already to be taken. Bottom lane, AZMODAN down here looking to maybe siege this back. No, I think they're just going to back off and look for the safe rotation. So top lane fort, yeah, this is a hard spot to be in on the side of Wholesome Halfwits. A lot of their momentum is being pushed back, but if they are able to get a kill or two, they do have a lot of openings. The top lane fort's very low, bottom lane is as well. Bottom lane, they're just trying to build these stacks on the Thrall, who's currently at 17 out of the 40, if I'm not mistaken, necessary. 30, excuse me. So they are over halfway already, as Bless Shield was used, but no follow-up from the Thrall or the Tyrande, and that is just going to be them burning a cooldown for now as they lose double fort. Boss will be picked up by the members of Tiny Dancers for top lane. And with that, they're going to grab their own boss for this bottom lane. Can they burn through it quick enough before the enemy team makes the rotation? It's only a Tyrande and a Thrall down here. Samuro comes in. Falstad's over here as well. Gust is up and available. Samuro, you got to make sure that you respect the Samuro here a little bit, because they are going to be able to shred through a tank, especially with that reduced armor from the Way of the Blade from level 1. Now, 13 talent tier is here and in favor for the side of our red team, as AZMODAN was up AFK, pushing up for the fort. They're going to look for a stun. There's a medallion, I think, used. There might have been actually a cleanse from the Tyrande. They're going to chase further forward, but I think that's mostly just to zone them away, and this is looking like boss or bottom lane in favor for the side of Tiny Dancers. Wholesome Halfwits are going to be working through this boss in top lane. I'm just skimming through talents really quickly because I know 13s are coming through, at least on the left-hand side. AZMODAN holding, I would assume, is a Brutish Vanguard with their build, yeah. KPB, thank you for the Twitch Prime. I'll resend your alert when we get out of game. And Iron Flare, thank you for gifting a sub to Crushinator. Thank you, my friend. So fort to bottom lane to go down. Top lane, we are going to be seeing Falstad hovering around over here. AZMODAN just still clearing things out at 148 stacks out of the 200 necessary on that baseline quest. And then you have the, the 200 on the level 1, 400 on the baseline quest. Excuse me, have it backwards right there. Is they're going to look for this Samuro. They might have it. Bless Shield was used, and they're going to be able to throw clones and walk away. Meanwhile, in bottom lane, Zagar doing their best to force this back, currently at 75 stacks. What does this mean? I don't actually know off the top of my head what it actually means. It's 15% damage increase, so they're doing 162 damage in auto. AZMODAN not 200 stacks, 10 minutes in is triggering. This is, in my opinion, this is a harder map definitely to stack on, but there was, I wouldn't say like a lack of stacking, there was just like everyone kind of did their own thing at the start of the game, so without consistent rotations and stuff, the AZMODAN is going to be lacking here, and it's just the way of the playstyle right now. But if they play this slower, they can definitely kind of put a pin in this, but right now the enemy team is going to be having this tribute spawning in their favor on the bottom left, and I see no world where they take this invade. Realistically, I think you just look to continue to soak out lanes. Maybe you try and find a pick into the Falstad top lane, but with Gus and everything, I don't know if it's worth it. Joanna's coming up here. I don't think they have it. There's going to be the Condemned to pull them in. The barrel roll will be interrupted. There's a Gladiator's Medallion used. There's going to be the Sundering from Thrall. Do they have something to get out of here? It's not the case. And so they will find the Falstad into top lane. They'll take that trade, and that's not bad at all. The big thing, though, they have to get out of here. That's the thing I want to note right now is they need to get the heck out of here because they have no safe retreat path. There's no fort for them to go to right now. They have to literally run all the way back, and so this will be a trade. AZMODAN does get quite a few stacks from that dunk right there, but the overextension afterwards from this Falstad pick is a little bit too much for them. If they mounted up after the kill and just rotated out, they might have been able to. I think they would have been able to disengage. There was a little bit of a wave clear to push up these siege giants, I think, a little bit, and I think AZMODAN could have just dunked it from a safer distance. Regardless, that's me harping on the fact too much, and we have our 16 talents here just about coming through for Wholesome Halfwits as they'll go ahead and clear out this bottom lane. Next objective phase will be top center of the map. No curse potential on either side, but this could be a chance for the members of Wholesome Halfwits to put their number up on the board. Samuro, once again, utilizing that Blade Storm for the wave clear. 174 stacks on the AZMODAN, 18 on the Thrall, 5 out of the 20 for the Lunar Blaze for the Tyrande, 75 on that uncapped level 4 quest, as AZMODAN gonna just drop the, just trying to drop as much damage as possible, and they're gonna go down right there. Falstad does fly into bottom lane as GARROSH just trying to split push. I mean, like, no, okay, yeah. Yeah, with the gust that just came out, I'm surprised that they're re-engaging onto this fort right now. This is very, very risky, but they're gonna start backing off. This is Samuro coming down. They don't really have much CC, but once again, the same statement to say about this one. The retreat path is non-existent as a Divine Maw comes out, finding 3. Or I guess we just see the Devouring Maw. Falstad has no gust, but they're pretending like they do, and they fly forward and sacrifice themselves. A bit of a misstep right there. Meanwhile, Thrall does go down just below us, 20 stacks on that Crash Lightning from level 1, as there's going to be a toss onto the Joanna, who actually looks to chase in us further. Cassia taking the longer rotation, a little bit safer as well, looking for a bit of a engage off of that, but I think they just throw the Stormbolt out and they're fine. Not Stormbolt. Lightning Fury. Revenge is what that's called, I think. Maybe. Just maybe.
Gather tribute or face my curse.
Well, no 20 talent here. A level away for it. Thrall up in 6. I think they gotta try and take this fight. I think Wholesome Halfwits has to try and take this fight here over this objective. They see him over there too. They know this is the vision for our blue team right now with that sentinel they just chucked out. Bottom lane fort low, but they gotta make big plays right now. Otherwise, they're gonna be looking at a curse and the enemy team looking to try and take a keep or 2, maybe even 3. Cigar will finish out their level 7 questing talent. Falstad trying to go for the channel. Look at the Samuro on the left-hand side of the screen, looking for a flank into the enemy team. That's going to be also the Demonic Invasion dropped by the AZMODAN. Thrall going for the channel, will be interrupted, tries to throw something out. Devouring Mar will connect onto 1. Liddell on the left-hand side trying to harass, as this is such a split fight. AZMODAN will finish out their level 1 questing talent, but they still have the baseline quest. We do have the lanes are actually fairly managed. The members of our blue team aren't really losing out too much, as I think they might have canceled that right there. Either way, they have the Blessed Shield, but the Divine Shield comes out so close to killing GARROSH. The Thrall drops the Sunder as well, and it seems like they forced them away. Samuro utilizes the Blade Storm to be able to clear the wave, and this is going to be 20 talents here picked up for our red team, but a curse point in favor for the blue side. Is this too advantageous? Yes. Oh, sorry, stats. There we go. I was like, something's missing on my screen. What's our Falstad at? I haven't looked at their bribe is for a little bit. 30% off of that, and they currently have 42 stacks, which, if I'm not mistaken, means they can bribe 2 units, because it's 20 per? Yeah. So they could actually bribe they could actually, can they fly? When they finish that camp, they can literally fly here, bribe that, and get 40%. And then, or they could fly, nah, I don't think they'll fly to boss. I don't, like... Unless they're gonna, yeah, they're gonna fly to boss. They're going for it. Samuro's gonna come down over here. They're gonna be held up. This is a very low boss. Falstad does have the gust up and available, but they're gonna get rooted in place. They're gonna be just chain CC'd, and they don't get it because the Devouring Maw will catch them. They do step onto the point with Silver. They're losing a lot of health. Ball Lightning will bounce from player to player, but the boss still goes over to blue side with the Wind Tunnel, forcing them into the corner. Falstad goes down. Silver low, but doesn't get hit by the Sentinel, which would have reduced their speed. Another dunk from AZMODAN to poke at them, and this is boss for bottom lane, boss for top lane. but the members of Wholesome Halfwits finding a kill of their own in this later half of the game into the Falstead as a big damage dealer removed, but they still have this Fishing Queen on that Cassia. Thrall with the Sunder, they're looking for this. Divine Shield with the Bullwalker is going to go off, and that is the reason we saw double Divine Shield right there between Fishing Queen and and Silver, as the Ball Lightning will spread from player to player. And do they have full cooldown reduction? They don't. 24 seconds. Thrall going for the channels. The Lightning Fury will come out once again. They're just throwing out many units to try and force them back. Fishing Queen will consistently throw these out. Maybe they're just trying to bait this. Either way, top lane keep does go down due to the fact that they have this boss, and it is slapping core at half health. They need to do something about it, as I think realistically they didn't care about stopping them from getting the channel. They managed to stop them from saving their keep. Big win for the side of Tiny Dancers, but still a great pickup for the side of Wholesome Halfwits, who are still in it in our game number 2 of our first best of 3 of the evening. Y'all, I think I'm not gonna cast a curse myself. 20 up on both sides when it comes to heroics, or excuse me, talents. What is the upgrade for Maw? Is it just bigger? And reduce the cooldown by 25, so it's now got a 55-second cooldown, if my caster math serves me right. AZMODAN is going to be Sin's Grasp, but that makes sense with the build that they've gone. Tyranda's going to be going into Iceblade Arrows, Radiating Faith. Okay. Blink for the Thrall as well, which I believe gives them Wind Fury. So they're going to try and go for the channel, not going to be able to make it. Lanes are pushing in favor for the members of Tiny Dancers. Wholesome Halfwits just need to get this entire fight under control, and you can see it's being a little split. They need to kind of regain their positioning, and a lot of the poke is going to be coming out. They can't get whittled down by all that poking consistently coming out. There's Falstead with a massive wind tunnel into the corner. Samuro with the Blade Storm into there. Divine Maul comes out as well. Tyrande, Thrall, and the Zagara go down. Samuro lives with 198 health on the left-hand side of the screen. Falstad barrel rolling forward, looking to chase in onto the AZMODAN. Darker Black will go down. Tank Stada is going to be getting picked off as well. Falstead looking to fly to core. The blue team completely goes down. That is going to be curse in favor for the side of Tiny Dancers, and with that, they're going to be moving past the... Falstead's already on core. I mean, core will deal damage to you, but Falstead doesn't care. They want to end game. I believe they have 40% on their bonus lightning rod damage, and so that is going to be quite a bit of pressure and play coming out from the side of Tiny Dancers. A good GG back and forth, but that will not be a game 3, and it looks like Tiny Dancers take our series, the first one of the evening, in a 2-0 fashion. GG. Well played. A very good attempt. A very good attempt. That Falstead, I gotta say, the MVP of that game, though, it's gonna be Falstead with that wind tunnel. That last wind tunnel into the wall where they couldn't move. Samuro, Blade Storm, everything right there on their heads. They just got bopped. Good plays both sides. But in the end, Tiny Dancers will be taking our first 3-game series of the evening. Hey, Day. How you doing, friend? Are you ready for Phantophobia tomorrow? We're doing it like 6, right? Because you can't really start streaming till 6 or play games because PC hot. Also, does that change for you as the winter comes around, or does Arizona stay hot forever? All right, we're going to get a player in here in just a second. Oh, we actually already have Feldrop joining us at this time. Congratulations on your 2-0 victory. How you feeling, my friend?
Feeling great. Those were really fun games. We're happy you went the way it did, obviously.
I gotta say, those were some really fun games. Now they come out with this crazy siege composition in game number 2. Was the Samuro picked up to deal with that? I'm curious about the Samuro pick, really, because that was one of your last ones. Is it because of the draft that they had, or was it just like, we want it for this map?
We love Samuro in general, and Samuro is really great against weak backline and healers that are focused on single target heals. So he does a great job of engaging from the back and then forcing split attention. And so the Tyrande can only choose to heal herself and one of the backline if that's where Samuro is engaging from, or the front line, which is taking a ton of damage from the rest of our team. So it was a bit of a counter pick to their team. He does a great soak with the Blade Storm, which just clears waves and is always up. So a bit of both. bit of both.
Hey, 17.5k on at least the experience put out, and on the opposing side, Zagara was basically 13.5. So fairly significant with that build right there. Game number 1, it went a little long, quite a few back and forth. Did you feel like there was any point where they might kind of start to build momentum against you, or was it very much just kind of playing chess and you were always kind of like, all right, we just have to keep kind of setting up and baiting them around those bosses as you did?
So that map, it's a good question because they had the butcher, so you
scaling.
think that they will scale, right?
Yeah.
At some point. So there's always that thought in the back of our heads. So we're constantly planning for that. But that map rewards patience like nobody's business. So if you're able to get a lead and then you're patient enough to keep it, then you can ride that through the rest of the game. So that's really what we did. We saw us getting an early fort with the first objective, I think, and then the second objective we got another couple forts, and so we just kept riding that. And then every time we had the potential to maybe push, but it was risky, we just decided to take a step back and then choose the fights on our own terms. And we talked about it before the game, that they had this crazy wombo combo they were definitely going for, and there was only a couple targets that it'd really be effective on. So Brightwing was one they were going for. That was really only effective until she got her stasis, and then she could just kind of avoid that damage. They ended up trying to switch to me on Tychus quite a bit, but I had a 3-second unstoppable on my ultimate every time, so that never ended up working out
there
for
was
them.
there was a good moment where you dropped Commandeer Odin as the light bomb and Butcher charge connected onto you, and it was just completely mitigated. I remember that. Yeah, literally, it was really well played right there, because you took damage, but you mitigated all the CC that came from it, so you're able just to turn things around. So it's really well played. I do want to say, for me, and I was saying it just before you jumped in here, it was the MVP play of the this matchup is just that wind tunnel into the wall. That setup right there, like I saw it happening, and I was like, "Here we go. This is yes, I like this." Seriously, it's a really good play. I kudos to you for just that setup, and really that was the game-winning play for your team. So make sure they buy you a pizza or something, maybe a taquito from 7-Eleven. Regardless, thank you so much for hanging out and doing this little interview. Before I let you run out of here, are there any shout-outs that you'd like to give? The floor is all yours.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to you first and foremost for casting our game. We really appreciate it and always welcome it. Shout out to Wholesome Halfwits for putting up a good show and bringing some memes out and making us think as we try to adjust. Shout outs to our team for playing really strong, keeping their head in the game, and consistently doing that week after week. And then finally, shout out to all our families who listen to us scream in the opposite room when we're making random false dad Gus plays. So
shout out to them specifically. But thank you so much for the interview. You have a wonderful evening, and congratulations on your 2-0 victory, my friend.